Taylor Swift. What comes to mind? Most people think of Taylor Swift as fearless, someone who commands stadiums and handles global fame with ease. But there's one fear she openly admitted that most fans don't know about. Sea urchins. Those strange, spiny creatures that hide just beneath the sand or cling to rocks under shallow waves. In interviews, Taylor's mentioned she's terrified of stepping on one. She joked about it, but fear like that often comes from something deeper. Maybe an encounter, maybe a trauma, or maybe the fear is justified. This story comes from someone who worked closely with Taylor Swift during a secluded beach shoot, and what happened there will make you question what's really hiding under the sand. This is Mr. H. You're listening to Masked Horror. It was supposed to be a peaceful shoot. Taylor wanted something stripped down and nature-focused for a song that hadn't been released yet. Something about tides, renewal, walking into the waves. The label booked this isolated beach on the Pacific. No tourists for miles. My job, as her assistant, was to coordinate logistics and keep the environment stress-free. What no one on the crew knew at the time was that Taylor had a very specific fear: sea urchins. It sounds harmless, almost cute, until you've seen her reaction. I learned about it the year before when she brushed against one backstage during a themed event. It was a dead prop, dried out and harmless, but she recoiled like it bit her. Her hands shook for an hour. Since then, she wouldn't walk barefoot outdoors, especially not near water. So when I told her the shoot involved wading ankle deep along the tide line, she went stiff. She forced a smile, but I knew. That fear was under the surface, just like the damn urchins. On the first day, I scouted the shoreline. The tide was low, rocks scattered but manageable. I took a long stick and gently stirred the sand in front of me. Taylor made me do that every morning. She wouldn't step into the water until I cleared the area. We filmed a few takes of her walking through the surf. She looked ethereal, long dress trailing, soft breeze, but kept glancing down like she expected something to grab her. That afternoon, the tide came in faster than expected. The water pushed higher up the beach, swirling more sand around the rocks. It got harder to see the bottom. That's when it happened. She slipped. Just a small misstep on a mossy rock. Then her right foot sank into a patch of soft sand. She screamed immediately. I ran. When I got to her, she was on the ground, clutching her ankle. There was blood. A black spine, maybe half an inch, protruded from the inside of her foot. I froze. I'd seen pictures of sea urchins, but never one actually stuck in someone. She was shaking. We got her back to the trailer and sanitized the wound. A medic confirmed it wasn't serious, but she was pale, drenched in sweat. She kept whispering, "They're under the sand. I didn't see it." That night, she refused to sleep in the main house and insisted on staying inland at a hotel. I drove her. She didn't speak, just stared out the window, every so often checking her foot like something might still be in there. The next day, the beach looked normal again. The tide had receded. Smooth sand, clear water, but she wouldn't go near it. Then she showed me her phone. Photos she took after the injury. Zoomed in, grainy. Showed something under the surface. Not just one urchin. 3, maybe more. Half buried, clustered between 2 rocks. Black spines just barely visible beneath the sand. They're hiding. They're out to get me, she said. We called off the water scenes. She wouldn't even walk on the dry sand. She said she felt them moving underneath, like the beach was breathing. That night, she woke up screaming. Said she dreamed the sand cracked open and 1,000 tiny spines reached up and pulled her in. I believed her, because the next morning, as I packed her bags to leave, I found something in her sneaker. A sea urchin spine, dried, hollow, like it had been placed there. I didn't tell her. She left the coast and never mentioned the song again. To this day, it's unreleased. The song was never released, and all the footage from the shoot was destroyed. And when I see her on red carpets now, in those custom shoes, I wonder if she still thinks about it. The thing she couldn't see, just waiting under the sand. This story was a fictional account, inspired by real fears and rumors. But what if it wasn't so far from the truth? This is a work of fiction, inspired by public conspiracy theories and psychological fears. No real persons or events are depicted.